Hello you cheeky bugger, /687 merchandise is back and better than ever. Use the link in the description to purchase yours today. Shirts, hoodies, and even stickers. There's the classic CPU frying an egg, as well as new potato PC design. Shirts are $14.99, hoodies only $24.99. You'll never see merchandise this cheap. Goodbye my friends, I love you all.
Hey, what's going on everybody? It is /687 back at it again with another PC build guide. Today I have a $600 gaming PC that features a Kaby Lake CPU and some other nice little goodies. So let's get right into this build. Starting off with the CPU, I have the Intel Core i5 7500. It is a 3.4 gigahertz quad-core processor based on the Kaby Lake architecture, the newest architecture from Intel. And this CPU, unlike the alternative in this other budget range, the i3 7350K, is not overclockable, but it does have 4 physical cores and sports a 3.4 gigahertz clock speed, which is pretty decent, and it's only an extra $20 over the i3, so it's a no-brainer for me in this case to go with the i5 7500 over the i3 7350K. I really did look forward to the i3 7350K, but its price bracket just wasn't enough to actually make me want to go out and put one in a build when an actual i5 with a decent clock speed is only $20 more. For the motherboard, I went with an ASRock H110M DGS Micro ATX motherboard. Now this motherboard is going to need a BIOS update most likely before you can use a Kaby Lake CPU with it, so keep that in mind. But other than that, it has 2 slots that supports up to 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, and it has 4 SATA 6 gigabit per second ports, supports USB 3.0 headers, but does not have support for Crossfire or SLI. No RAID support either, just a lot of just very standard motherboard right here, but it's cheap and it gets the job done. For the RAM, I have 8 gigabytes of crucial DDR4 2133 megahertz memory. With the new Kaby Lake architecture, RAM speed does matter a lot more in performance, but in this case, it's the cheapest RAM I could get, 2133 megahertz. Any more would be pushing the budget a little bit too far, so in this case, I did have to go with 2 sticks of this 8 gigabyte RAM. 2 4 gigabyte sticks, not 2 8 gigabyte sticks, but it's going to allow for dual channel support, so you're going to get a little bit more performance out of your RAM, and at only $50, it's a good deal for this kit of DDR4. For the storage, I had to dumb it down a little bit compared to a lot of my other builds. I just have a standard 1TB Seagate Barracuda hard drive. I don't have any SSDs, I don't have anything crazy, not even a 2TB hard drive, only 1TB of storage, which in today's day and age isn't really a whole lot, but it's going to be enough to store a decent amount of games, some pictures, music, but you might want to add additional storage down the line and possibly an SSD. But when you're working with a $500 budget, it definitely does limit you, and I did want to be able to fit in that i5 and a decent video card. Speaking of the video card, I have an EVGA GeForce GTX 1060 3GB video card. This video card has 3 gigabytes of GDDR5 and is a perfect video card for high-end 1080p gaming at AAA titles. This GPU is based on the kinda new Maxwell architecture, and like I said, expect to be able to play pretty much all games 1080p, high, ultra settings at around 60 FPS, but it all depends on the game, of course, and paired with this i5 7500, they will make a great couple. For the case, I have a DIY PC Solo T1R ATX mid-tower case. It's a $28 mid-tower case that looks decent, has a nice LED fan in there if you're into that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's $28 and it is a full mid-tower size, so compared to the other alternatives at that budget, it was a no-brainer. This will be able to support our GPU, it's gonna have plenty of space for that and even plenty of space for an upgrade down the line, and it's gonna allow you to add an SSD and maybe an additional HDD if you want to, so good case right here for this build. For the power supply, I have an EVGA 500 watt 80 plus, not even bronze, there's 80 plus certified ATX power supply. It's $36, 500 watt power supply. That's plenty of power for a build like this with, you know, very new and efficient parts. Kaby Lake low power consumption. Maxwell is low power consumption as well, so 500 watts is going to be plenty for this build. But if you're planning to ever upgrade to maybe a i5 7600K and you're looking to overclock and do that kind of crazy stuff, you might want to bump up the power supply in the future, but for now it's just fine. So that's the build, guys. The total comes out to $615. If you want the extra $15, hit me up and I'll hook you up, bud. But that's the build. I hope you all enjoyed. Tell me what you think about it down in the comments, and if you have any questions, leave those down in the comments too. And be sure to leave a like rating if you like the video, and if you're new, subscribe. I'll see you all later. Have a great day. Peace. If you want to build this build, there's some Amazon links down in the description, and if you use them, I get a kickback. Please use them.